been a long time since we've been allowed back in the Akihabara Super Potato location, but here we are on the, I want to say, second floor, and we're looking at the Nintendo 64. We see here a couple of sports games. We've got Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey there on the left. I had a heck of a time finding that, and you never see this complete in box. And on the right is a $2. This is probably the cheapest thing that Super Potato will ever sell you in the box. A $2 golf game. That's Eiko no St. Andrews. A golf game. I've played it. It's fine. It's got the very big blocky polygons that characterize N64 games. It's Excitebike 64. People don't really talk about that much. Everybody, of course, knows the original Excitebike for the NES, but Onagai Monster, not great. Kind of trying to be a Pokemon game in the later 1990s for the N64. It doesn't quite translate as well to the 3D space. But what is great, we've actually got two pretty good games here. On the right is Custom Robo, and at $17, this is a steal. Custom Robo is an insanely good game. It's actually shocking that Nintendo never localized this outside of Japan. It's just a phenomenal game. It's really like an action arena kind of fighting game where you customize a robot fighter. You can change their weapons, customize the armor. Great game. Chameleon Twist 2 I haven't quite played yet, but this is, I'd say it's at least an uncommon game. So seeing it here for $50, maybe you can hold out a little bit and get something cheaper, but that's not the most terrible price that I've ever seen. Let's see, what am I going to pull off? Look at all those cartridges there. So many. Oh, there's the Goemon. That is, I think, on the right is the original Goemon for the N64. That's, I can't remember how to say it in Japanese. On the left is Dero Dero, let's see, it's Gambare Goemon, Dero Dero Michi Dochu. I can't remember if that's the board game or not. There is an exclusive Japan-only N64 Goemon game that is just a board game that I have not played yet, but one of these days I'll try out. More sports games. Oh, I thought $2 was going to be the cheapest, but J-League Alive for $1. That might be the cheapest CIB game that you'll find in Super Potato. I can't believe they actually have some of these in stock. You never think about a lot of these games, and like $5 for these Pro Yaku games. Sports games, even in Japan, can be hard to find CIB. So sometimes, if you find them at Super Potato, this might be the only place that you find them. Pro Yaku, I think, had like 6 entries on the N64 in Japan. And then, oh my god, wow, look at that. Shadowgate. I loved Shadowgate when I was a kid. I rented it from the local video store plenty of times, although never actually finished it. Finding it here for $40 is actually a pretty good deal. On the right, we've got it's new Nintendo 64 version of SimCity. I believe this is Japan only because SimCity released on the Super Nintendo elsewhere. But this version of SimCity is unique in that it has Japan-only mini games where you can actually increase your town funds by going to a racetrack and betting money. It's really insane. Jinsei game there on the left. That's actually a pretty fun game. It's in Japan. It's the game of life, the board game. But in Japan, it's known as Jinsei game, and they did some localization twists to it. So where you've got a devil and an angel that you interact with. It's actually a pretty long running series in Japan. These video games. And there's Zool on the right, which I think I played 2 seconds of Zool. And then look at that, Shadows of the Empire. I love a lot of those 90s Star Wars games, and Shadows of the Empire is, of course, one of the top. It has, of course, the best Hoth level. And wow, Star Soldier Vanishing Earth. That is the one of maybe 2 or 3 scrolling shooters that were released for the Super Nintendo or for the N64, and you never see that complete in box. What a find. See, you can complain about Super Potato and its high prices, but they just have stuff here that you never see. Although, okay, you will see Derby Stallion 64, pretty frequently. But Choro Q64, what does that include? Oh, it's got a little mini racer in it. All right, so the mini racer, wow, just that little That little mini racer that's included ups the price by $30. You can just get the base game there on the right, complete in box, for 12 bucks. But if you want that little extra tchotchke, that's going to cost you an extra $30. What do we got here? Choro Q2. Yeah. I think Choro Q2 only came out in Japan. And then we've got Dual Heroes, kind of like Sentai looking game. Oh wow, Beast Wars Transformers. I often forget that came out for the N64. It's like I mean, Beast Wars, I loved watching it when I was a kid. And I really enjoyed uh, seeing that it had come out as like a 2.5D fighter, even though I actually don't think it's that good. We've got Nushitsuri and Nushitsuri 64, Shiokaze ni Notte. These are like fishing RPGs. It's really strange. I don't know honestly how else to describe them, but they're really fascinating. I think you can choose between a bunch of different characters and experience the story in multiple ways. It's a wild time. And now, all right, okay, this is probably one of these is the worst game I've ever played, and it is the one on the right, PD Ultraman. What is it called? It's PD Ultraman Battle Collection 64. It is awful. It is slow. It is boring. It's you like collect a bunch of different Ultramen and you fight the evil monsters that are like featured in the series. It is so bad. I do not recommend it. I've got a review on the channel if you want to see it. Star Fox 64, 10 bucks for a cartridge is pretty steep, I gotta say. Well, all right, Zelda for what, 12 bucks? Smash Brothers for 25? No, you can get Smash Brothers complete for 25 in Japan pretty easily. Majora's Mask for 20, greatest game of all time. Mario Tennis for 7, that's not terrible. I mean, Mario Tennis is an amazing game, so, you know, even if you can only find it for 7 bucks, it's going to be worth it. 12 bucks for Mario 64 out of the box. Shindo is a little bit more expensive, which is curious because I thought Shindo was cheaper. Usually Shindo is cheaper elsewhere. Oh, and here we go. These are some two big hitters here. On the top is Perfect Dark, which is my favorite first-person shooter of all time. On the bottom, we've got Getter Love, which is a romance-themed Mario Party-esque game where you compete with a bunch of computers or your friends if you can get them in the same room. And you basically go around a board, you try and hook up with some cuties. Meanwhile, you're fighting your friends in mini games to try and, I guess, win affection. It's apparently the rarest cartridge release N64 game. The complete in box version can go for, you know, $250, probably now $300. And there's Resident Evil 2. I still can't believe they fit that on an N64 cartridge. And then Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, which I'm actually surprised. There's a lot of people in the United States who want Virtual Pro Wrestling. And then, like, Mario Story, like, that's insane. Paper Mario is like, what, $100 now in the US for the cartridge? Here it's a steal, even at $13. And then we've got Mario Party 3 for another $15. Like, the N64 in Japan is so collectible compared to the United States. If you just collect the Japanese versions of these games, like Yoshi's Story for like $8, I think I just spent like $30 to get my American copy. Kirby 64 is going for 10 bucks. Like, that's nothing. Nothing. Although I don't think Kirby 64 is terribly expensive these days. Then we've got Donkey Kong 64, Pokemon Stadium. You can save yourself a lot of money if you're picking up these Japanese games. Like Bomberman 2. I think that's Bomberman. Is that Bomberman's Second Attack in the US? And then we've got Star Twins, aka Jet Force Gemini. Fantastic game. I really need to get back and actually finish Jet Force Gemini one of these days. Puyo Puyo Sun, that's Puyo Puyo 3, going for $8. We've got Wave Race. The N64, I have complained about not having great games, but on the flip side, you get things like Ogre Battle 64. I mean, one of the best like tactical RPGs of all time. Loved renting that when I was a kid. Complete in box Mario Party 2, going for like $20, a mere $20 for a complete N64 game. Like, I mean, are there even complete N64 games in America that are like less than $50? Like, here we've got like Puyo Puyo Sun for 10, Puyo Puyo 4, Puyo Puyo Party for what is that, 27? It's nothing. It's so easy to complete an N64 collection. Even if you're going for a complete in box, because the most expensive complete in box N64 game is Getter Love at like $250. There's a Tamagotchi game. Yeah, we don't talk about the Tamagotchi game that came out for the N64 from Bandai. And there's Baku Bomberman. I'm not the biggest fan of the original Baku Bomberman. We got 64 Ozumo there on the right. Fantastic game. I really enjoyed playing it. I reviewed it on the channel years ago. Oh, do I pull? Am I gonna pull Mischief Makers? There we go. I really want to complete inbox Mischief Makers. I love that cover. Love the artwork for that game. And then Yoshi's Story. I like Yoshi's Story. I will defend in this video. I will defend Yoshi's Story. It's a great game. Mario Party 3. I mean, how much is that in the box now? Like $200 in the US, but here it's, 20 bucks. Oh, and Mario Party 1. We got Mario Tennis. I think Mario Tennis is very underrated, especially since the Switch version, what is it, Mario Tennis All-Stars or whatever? Mario Tennis is still really good. Mario Golf as well is still really good. And then Paper Mario for $20. I remember when I paid $20 like 8 years ago for Paper Mario. I paid way too much back then. Then we got Pokemon Stadium, and then the weird thing about Pokemon Stadium in Japan is that I think they just, Pokemon was so huge that they just shot out Pokemon Stadium as quickly as they could, and then it didn't have all of the features. I don't even think it like has all of the Pokemon in it. But then they came out with Pokemon Stadium 2 in Japan, which is what we got in the US as Pokemon Stadium 1. And then our Pokemon Stadium 2 is actually Pokemon Stadium Gold, Silver, and Crystal version over in Japan. But, oh man, I do actually miss Pokemon Stadium. It's kind of weird now that we have like 3D Pokemon with the Switch. You kind of forget that it was a luxury. There we go, Pokemon Stadium 2 there on the right. Back in the day, to have a 3D Pokemon battling simulator, that was a big deal. That was big when you could put your Pokemon into those games. And Famista. There's lots of baseball games. I think we kind of forget that the N64 had so many sports games on it. And I mean, look at all those cartridges. There are so many games for the N64. Not quite as much as, say, maybe even the Dreamcast, and certainly nowhere near as much as the PlayStation. But I've had the N64 on my mind recently, and I still think that some of my favorite games of all time are on the N64, but there's a lot of chaff out there too. So I hope you enjoyed a little peek into the Super Potato in Akihabara. I miss it. It's been so long since I've been there. Just as a note, I guess this was filmed back in early 2020, but the fact is that the N64 hasn't really seen a lot of price movement in Japan, so the prices on these aren't going to be terribly different. They're not going to be as different now as they were back in 2020. So N64 is still incredibly collectible, and I hope this video has been useful for you. I hope you got a little glimpse into what it's like collecting the N64 in Japan, where you will have a blast if you like the system. I've been your man out of Japan, Jay Contra. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video, and mahalo.